Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing Uber Eats and only Uber Eats. Let's say, what if it was my only app that I had to work off of? Well, I have been sitting in this parking lot where some of my restaurants are. It is evening time, around dinner time. Typically, I can get an offer, and Uber Eats has been pretty decent recently. So, well, I have been sitting here for 10 minutes declining. I have been getting really high mile offers or really low paying offers. So it has been decline. And I'm like, it's dinner time. Like, I'm not going to be driving way out somewhere for unreasonable pay that just don't make any sense. Plus, I don't want to be driving high miles. So this is what I've been declining. These are some of the pretty bad ones. One of them that I got was for $20.49. Yes, the $20 sounds very nice, but for 17.7 miles, I don't think so. That was an absolute no. It was going to take me into another city. And like I said, if you drive all the way out there, you're going to have to drive all the way back if you can't get another offer. That is double the miles. Another really bad one that I got was for $12.57 for 11.6 miles. It was going to take me into another city again, and I don't want to go out there. The miles is high, the pay is not reasonable for that high of miles, and I just don't want to drive that far out. And then the restaurant that it was at, they are known for not having the food ready on top of that. So could you imagine going there, your food's not ready, having to sit and wait, and then you have X amount of miles to drive. I think it's only what, from where I'm at, maybe a mile two off of the mileage, because you know the mileage includes to the restaurant and then to the customer's drop off. Then you still have a lot of miles to drive. So that is an absolute no. And then another one that I got really low pay, $4.40 for 3.6 miles. Absolutely not. And then this one is the worst of the worst that I've gotten so far. $7.26 for 11.8 miles. And I'm like, what is this? This is really bad. And then on top of that, you want to know what happened? I accidentally hit the accept button, and I'm like, gosh dang it. So you know what you got to do. If you don't know, you need to go down to the triangle in the left bottom hand corner, scroll to the bottom. I mean, you got other reasons. I just hit other, and then it's going to say cancel so-and-so's delivery. Yes, I want to cancel, so I canceled it so I could get back on. But it happens sometimes. It happens, and I'm like, out of the worst of the worst. Okay, so I'm hanging out, and then I finally get something. It's still probably been 10 minutes of declining, and literally right after that I got something reasonable, an offer that you just can't refuse. You don't even really got to look at it. $9.09 for 1.6 miles, and I'm like, yes. And it's right in the parking lot where I'm at. And then, you know, I'm getting ready to head over there, and my phone starts ringing. Uber Eats starts going off, and I'm like thinking it's an add-on, right? Oh no, it's not an add-on. I lost the offer. So I'm like, you know what? My Wi-Fi must be on, because you know that happens. And it always happens with the really good offers you lose. It tends to happen with the really good ones. So of course I go in and I turn off my Wi-Fi. Hopefully I don't have this trouble again, but it's always the good ones. So anyways, guys, I am still waiting to get something good with Uber Eats. I might have to take me a little spin, but hence the reason why I multi-app, because sometimes, you know, Uber Eats may be really good, and some days it's not, and that's why the other apps come in to keep the wheels moving. So we're gonna find out how much longer it takes me to find a good offer. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a drive. I'll be back with you guys in a minute. Hopefully I don't get any more bad ones. I need a good one. All right. After about 15 minutes of declining, I finally got something reasonable. I am there almost, and it is for $17.12 for 6.4 miles, and both of the pickups, because there is 2 orders combined, is at the same restaurant, which always makes it completely awesome. It should be ready. I hope it is. Now this restaurant, you never know. I'm hoping that it is, so we can get these wheels to moving. All right, I'm heading inside, crossing my fingers. The orders are ready to go, and we'll get these wheels to moving again. 2 pickups. Doc M and Katie N Uber Eats.
Doc and Katie. Katie N. Have a good one.
Perfect, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Both orders were ready, which is awesome. Like I said, sometimes you just never know, especially during dinner time. But it looked like they had a bunch of orders sitting there waiting to be picked up. And thankfully, 2 of them were mine. So the customer is 1 minute, 0.5 miles down the street. And then we'll go drop off the second order. First order's dropped off, easy to find. It was a house. The pinpoint put me at the end of a dead end road. So at first I was concerned because I could see houses on the other side. You know, sometimes you get to the end of the street and you got to go around and get to the other side of the neighborhood. Luckily, it was the very last house on the end of the dead end. So we are all good there. Second drop off is 7 minutes, 3.5 miles. All right, second order is dropped off. Another house, easy to find. The only issue is where this particular house is, and I've never had issues before up until recently. I'm like getting 1 bar of service back here. So when Uber Eats starts throwing me other offers, it totally freezes up my phone and I have a hard time getting to the customer. So of course, I'm getting close to the customer. Uber Eats is throwing me another offer, completely freezes up my phone. So I'm like trying to get out of it. I have to close out of the app because my phone's frozen. Anyways, I had to hit the coffee icon to pause other offers coming in until I can get to the customer's drop off. Thankfully, I was able to get back on the app. I've had an occasion, which I've mentioned recently, that I actually had to drive out of the neighborhood back to a main road to get service and then go back to the customer. But do you guys have a coffee icon? Because I was talking to another Uber Eats driver at a restaurant and I was telling him about the coffee icon, you know, to pause the offers, because he didn't like that Uber Eats is constantly throwing you offers when you're trying to get to the customer. 1, it's distracting, and 2, it throws you off your path to getting the customer. And he's like, no, I don't have that. And I'm like, you sure? So he shows me his phone, and sure enough, he does not have the coffee icon. He said he's never had it. And I showed him my phone with the coffee icon, and he was like, that's interesting. I'm like, it seems like all of our apps are like slightly different. So let me know if you guys have the coffee icon for your Uber Eats app to pause the offers. But that's what I'm having to do when I come out here, if I remember. Yeah, luckily I was able to get back on. So I am heading back to where my restaurants are. Let's see what Uber Eats throws me. So heading back to where my restaurants are, of course, I'm having to decline to get to the reasonable offer. So I had to decline probably about 5 minutes worth of offers. Some of the really bad ones, $8.89 for 9.4 miles. The miles are way too high. Pay is lower than the miles. Absolutely not. Another really bad one, $4.96 for 5.7 miles. Another no-go. And then there was another one, of course, $13.69 for 14.8 miles. What is up with these really high mile offers and low pay? It's like, I've said it 100 times. We're driving our own vehicles, having to put gas in our car, wear and tear on our car. The list goes on and on. We can't accept those offers. I mean, you're not going to end up being profitable. That's going to take you way out to who knows where. In my instance, a lot of these areas, I'm not going to get another offer, nor would I take high miles for that low of pay anyways. So as I usually do, I hold out until Uber Eats decides to give me a reasonable offer. And finally, I got something. You always got to decline until you get something that's worth your time. They sent me an offer, $12.28 for 4.4 miles. I had actually passed this restaurant, so I just had to flip around and I am here. So I'm going to go inside. They're usually really good, so the food should be ready. Keep these wheels to moving. Order was ready. Alrighty, just as I expected, like I said, this restaurant is always pretty good about getting their orders out within a reasonable amount of time. The only thing with this restaurant, just as you should with any restaurant, you got to make sure to see if there's any drinks with the order, because if the customer orders like a milkshake or a cold drink, they typically, one, won't make it until you get there, or two, they'll put it into a refrigerator or freezer until you get there. So I was making sure that they didn't have any of those things, which they didn't. So we are good to go. They did have 2 bags of food, so I had to use my big hot bag and then my smaller one. So all is good there. Customer, we're almost there. 5 more minutes, 1.9 miles. I did message them that I'm on my way. I always message a customer just as an extra courtesy, kind of opens up communication, and the customer message back thank you, so they know I will be arriving soon. So we are almost there. All right, guys, orders dropped off. So I am kind of like on the outskirts, kind of country, farms off to the side, down a long gravel driveway. Let me show you. Now, typically, I don't like coming out into, it's not too far away from my area, but typically I don't like coming out to like the country areas, deep in the back. Personally, for me, I like to stay around the city area, houses and stuff. If you look at my map, it's like all green around, but the miles weren't bad. I'm not too far away from where all my restaurants are. Easy drop off. They left some instructions of what their house looked like. Once I started going down this long gravel driveway, I'm looking at the map and it has a pinpoint in the middle of the grass, and there's like, it's not even on a building, and I'm like, oh gosh, not one of these, because I've had that happen before where I'm like out in the country and sometimes you don't got service, and the list goes on. But like I said, I'm not too far away from like where all my restaurants and stuff are. I do have some service, but they left some instructions, so I was able to easily find it. So I am heading back to where all of my restaurants are. So it's about 9 minutes, and hopefully we'll catch something decent on the way back. So as I'm driving back to my area, Ubereats sends me this. It's a Walmart order, but of course not the kind of Walmart orders I'm looking for. $11.52 for 15.8 miles. And it's in another city. That is an absolute no. And then I finally got something that is worth my time. $9.69 for 2.4 miles for Round Table Pizza. I am here. But then Ubereats wants to throw an add-on, of course. The add-on was for $1.69 for 1.4 miles. That is absolutely not. I got an add-on the other day that was for $1 and some change again, and I'm like, who would take that? Who would take that? I hope nobody's taking an add-on for some $1 and some change. That is just ridiculous. Anyways, and it's not even at the same restaurant. Regardless, I'm not taking it, but it's that is just a really, really, really bad add-on. So I am here crossing my fingers that the pizza is ready and get these wheels back to moving. Hi, picking up for Amanda G with Ubereats. Yeah. Awesome. I think there's, you got one more?
Was it one more?
Let me get back into my phone. It locked me out. I thought it was, but unless it was sauce. There should be a Caesar salad. Awesome. Thank you. You too. Order was ready. So when the employee handed me the order, there was only 2 items, and I always kind of take a quick glance at the order because I'm always scanning for drinks. It's kind of became like my habit to go in there and look at it. And I was like, wait a minute, I think that there's 3 items. So sure enough, there was supposed to be a salad. So thankfully I remembered that something isn't right, that there is an extra item. So he got me the salad. So we are off 3 minutes, 1.5 miles. The customer is in an apartment, and from what it looks like, it is the 2nd floor. So we are on our way. Pizza orders dropped off. Now this apartment complex, I've delivered here before. It is well marked, plus it's a smaller complex, so it's easy to find. Customer left notes that she wanted me to message her when I arrived. I did so. So we are all good there. And of course, when I'm pulling in, Ubereats is sending me another offer, but this one was a good one, which of course I could not refuse. $10.41 for 3.1 miles. It is for Panda Express, so I am heading there now. Hopefully it'll be ready and on the shelf when I get there. As always, guys, I so appreciate you riding along with me. As always, if you guys enjoyed riding along with me, give this video a like, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.